Good morning, everybody. Welcome to 615 Live, our scoreboard show. 3 wide today because Chris is gone. He's left us. He went to greener pastures, aka Alaska. Gentlemen, how we doing?
Gypsies in the palace, man. Greener pastures in October in Alaska.
Yeah, I think he usually goes to what?
I usually go to the mountains.
Yeah.
Of course, with everything that's going on up there, and he said that this trip's been planned for a while. So, and that's kind of on a lot of people's bucket list to take a trip up to the Northwest. So,
100%. Yeah, I'm really jealous, honestly. So
yeah, he's truthfully on the side. He's scouting out Alaska preps.
he's going all the way up to that one school, all the way in the North Barrow. Is it Barrow, Alaska?
Yeah, that's the one that is on your bucket list to do a game at.
Oh yeah, I'm going there. It has to be. I have to.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, let's get into our show and lighter week this week. 25 games. Nothing too crazy. A lot of teams on fall break. Some Thursday night games. We'll kick off with those right now. Up in Clarksville, Kirkwood and Clarksville get going in a massive region game. Clarksville runs away with it, though. This game was never close. Scott, you watched this one. Your thoughts from it?
That was just a dominating defensive performance. Clarksville, they just marked their territory, right? James Dalrymple had a great night, 140 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. He actually threw a halfback pass to Ben Moore for a score and almost had another one. Great defense out of Amari Galbraith and Jack Stein. Both of them had 5 tackles. Stein had a sack. Defensively, they just stood out consistently. We're hitting Miles Redding, keeping him from being able to throw the ball, and they kept Josiah Claybrooks from breaking loose. This is Clarksville serving as is still their region.
Yeah, for sure. Everything still runs through the Wildcats for sure. This doesn't lock up the region title for them yet. They still have a big matchup with Rossview. If Rossview is able to win that game and win their other region games, both teams would have 1 loss, and Rossview having the win head to head. So not a confirmed region title for Clarksville, but man, it's surely looking like it's going that way.
Yeah, big win for the Wildcats. Kirkwood kind of been rolling at this point, beating Rossview a couple weeks ago, but not their week, just not their week this time. Next Thursday night game, we'll get to some highlights actually. CPA taking on Antioch, big game for the Lions. They head into the bye week. They have won 19 straight going into this game, hadn't lost since week 2 of last year to Pearl Cone. We'll get this one going. Weston Parker here takes the jet sweep outside, breaks a couple tackles, and just takes it in for 6. I mean, way too easy. That was, I think, 2 minutes into the game. Nothing really Antioch could do to him there. Hudson Chance to Owen Cabell, deadliest duo in the state right now, in my opinion. Hudson Chance with the second touchdown pass of the night. This one to Rawls Patterson, making it look easy. Rawls looks back and healthy. And how about one more time from Hudson to Knox McLean? Really underrated receiver for a CPA. I don't think he gets talked about nearly enough. It was just one of those nights for Antioch. They've played a brutal schedule. Andre Adams throws a pick here. Great pick by the DB. But yeah, nothing really they could do here. And then Hudson Chance, he'll end up calling his own number here. Nobody open. He decides, you know what, I'll just do it myself. Knee looks fine, takes it in for 6, and Antioch will get one here with about a minute and a half to go, but this one was over pretty early on. So CPA rolls like they have all year.
Chance just really impresses me. He is very calm in the pocket. Joe, it looked like great highlights there, by the way, but it looked like every pass seemed to be on target, where the receiver needed to get to it. Receivers catching the ball at the height of getting up there before the defenders. This team looks like a very well coached team.
It's Ingle Martin. I mean, that's just what it is. Ingle Martin coach teams this time of the year. It's what they do.
Yeah, and this Antioch team, you kind of alluded to it a little bit, Joe. This Antioch team through 8 weeks may have the toughest schedule in our area. It's just really, really loaded, and it to me it looks like the last couple of weeks you're seeing a program that's still in the growing process that is kind of wearing down over those tough games. But 4-4, they had a 4-6 record last year in the regular season, I believe. So, chance to improve on that, and their goal's still out in front of them. If they get a little help, they could still win that region title.
Yeah, absolutely. Brentwood Academy takes care of business out in Knoxville. I went back and watched this game. This is the best the Brentwood Academy offense has looked in a couple of years.
Yeah. Defensively, this may have been one of their better games. They did give up some yards, but they forced 5 turnovers. They had 4 sacks. They limited the Irish to just 2 field goals in the 3 trips to the red zone. George McIntyre looked great. He looked, I don't know whether it was because Coach Heupel was in the stands and everybody on the team was yelling out, but they put together a pretty complete game.
Yeah, to me, it just kind of looked like, I mean, you said in 2 years, and I think that's pretty accurate. What's the old saying? Looked like he got his swagger back. That's what it looked like.
Yep.
Looks like we are not live on Instagram. Not sure what's going on there. Rossview takes care of business at McGavick, but it was not easy. The Raiders gave the Hawks all they could handle. This Rossview team is a weird one, guys. I mean, it's not like they're playing bad this year, but just not as stout as I think we thought they might be.
Well, I think it's a lot of the same from last year. They're a pretty solid defensive football team, but offensively, it's touch and go. They have weeks where they look like they're improved over last year, and they have weeks like this where they just struggle.
Hats off to McGavick. They've had their struggles. They've only won 1 game this year, but they went up. They went to Rossview, and I think they went to Rossview, and they gave them a game. But
no, they were at McGavick.
No, it was at McGavick.
Were they at McGavick? Okay. Yeah. Well, again, they played a Rossview defense really, really tough. Really, it was turnovers that got them. The Raiders, Rossview was able to turn 2 Raider turnovers into points.
All right. I think that's about Kenwood takes care of business against Northwest. The Knights have won 2 straight. They're beating teams they should beat. Still not a great season for them, but hey, the Knights get the win here.
Yeah, Kenwood was in control of the game, and they almost let it get away from them. Northwest scored late to cut the lead and recovered the onside kick, but they were to hang on.
PCA takes care of business. The Lions 5-3 on the year. Tatum Marks is having himself a really great couple of weeks. He had a big one last night. He had 4 touchdowns, over 200 yards passing again.
Yeah, and we mentioned it, I think on last week's show. It might have been week before last show. But this is a program that's on the rise quickly here in the Middle Tennessee area. And what a job Coach Ferguson's doing over there in Murfreesboro.
Yeah, Joe, you said it. Tatum Marks, he follows up a 7 touchdown performance. Aiden Bolden, 5 catches, 60 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
He's going to be a stud on the basketball court, but right now he's tearing it up on the football field. Yeah, FRA, we'll get some highlights here, actually. FRA takes care of business against BGA. Kind of a comedy of errors early on. T.O. Odie with the pick here, glorified punt. BJ gets the ball back. Weird play there. Just could not get the handle right. Eventually, check out this touchdown, though. Jaden Rush fumbles it. Mike Hassle's there to pick it up. It was just that sort of night for Mike. He had a big game, ends up with 3 touchdowns. Second one here following a BGA fumble. Nice little speed option to him there. And right now it's 12-0 BGA. Look at this hit though. Ooh, I mean, good Lord. I think everybody in the stadium said ooh there. Another touchdown here for FRA. They're just kind of rolling at this point, 19-0. But Kane Marable gets BGA on the board for the first time here. Big time. They needed it and got some momentum going. But FRA, they just kept finding ways to kind of just step on BGA's throats when it mattered. This makes it a three-score game yet again. BGA runs 3 plays, marches down the field. Nice second effort here by Fletcher to get in the end zone for 6. It's 25-14 at this point. Check out this play though. 3rd and 27, hook and ladder, Jaden Rush. And you're not gonna tackle him with one guy. It ain't happening. Massive pickup here. He takes it all the way down to the BGA 5, I believe. And then Mike Hassel just kind of doing what Mike Hassel does. Punches it in. This one puts the game out of reach. FRA would go on to add one more at the very end. And just a statement win for the Panthers. As simple as that. I mean, they're a clear top 2 in D2 AA right now, in my opinion. It's BGA, or not BGA, FRA and CPA.
Yeah, and honestly, this, we talked about how it's hard to judge without them playing each other. All we can do is compare opponents, but we talked about how close is this FRA team to CPA. Well, this game went about how the CPA BGA game went. Close for a while, and then they blew the doors off late in the 3rd quarter into the 4th quarter. So I can't wait for that matchup. I think it's in week 11, which is a super
week 10.
So it's week 10. So which unfortunately there's another 6A matchup in week 10 that I think is probably going to be the spotlight. So
yeah, Chris and I actually talked about this last night. I'll be at Oakland Ravenwood. He will be at FRA CPA. So he hasn't gotten to see FRA yet. Wants to see them, and I mean this is almost identical to what CPA did to BGA. BGA is not a bad team. I think this is a testament to how good CPA and FRA are, though, because just dominant up front.
And it shows where that program is for BGA as well. It's hard to make a jump from, especially first year under new coach Bobby Bentley. It's hard to make that jump straight into a state championship contender. I still think they're a contender. I do. With that offense, if the things go the right way, I think that they can beat a FRA or a CPA. But things have to go the right way. Yeah, this Panther team has kind of come out of nowhere and seemed like they want a little revenge on the Lions.
Yeah, can't say I blame them.
Yeah, you guys got it right. BJ is not a bad team. I mean, they still Caden Marable still put up 263 yards passing. It was the run game that they really got where I really got them. Only 67 yards rushing. And they won. I think FRA turned the ball over like 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
And still you get that kind of game. That FRA CPA game is going to be something special.
Oh, it's going to be absurd. From what BJ, yeah. I definitely agree, Toby. BGA last year, you could see the talent they had, just not there. This year, Kane Marable looks great. I mean, he was a great quarterback last year, but this year he's just tearing it up. I mean, he's solidly, I think, in Mr. Football discussions for a good reason, but FRA and CPA just kind of, they're different beasts right now. And that's why I picked them to play in a state title game. And right now it looks like that very much could be the path.
Yep.
Canyon County takes care of Notre Dame. Not my Notre Dame. They go down to they beat Chattanooga team. Canyon County 5-3 on the year, quietly 5-3, putting up a ton of points in the games they win too. So big win for the Lions. Notre Dame. Hopefully, I don't see a score like this today when they take on Stanford. But as long
what do you mean? Hopefully, you do. It's just reverse.
I don't want to see them give up 20 points to Stanford. That's not allowed.
The thing is that be glad if this had been Cannon over Joe's Notre Dame, Cam and I would be doing this show ourselves.
You would never see me again. Nashville Christian takes care of Columbia Academy in a game I don't think any of us saw us getting this out of hand.
Yeah, right there. I put that in there for a reason. This is a statement, and he made sure he made his statement. If you've seen some of the runs that he had talking about Jared Curtis, me and Joe was talking last night. He's going to win Mr. Football. It's going to happen.
I mean, I can't think of anybody. I mean, truthfully, you know, you had Monte Ball, who's also in the discussion, but this game, I think Nashville Christian wanted to between the two on that, and yeah, kids do think about it. So, yeah,
Scott,
Curtis still.
There we go.
You went robotic there for a minute, man.
You froze up.
Oh
Yeah.
boy,
You're back now. You're back.
you're back now. Okay, after
Yeah.
all that I said didn't really matter.
Yeah.
Jared Curtis had a stellar night, 371 yards passing, another 78 on the ground. He accounted for 5 TDs and an absolute truck of a Bulldog defender on like his second touchdown. You get a chance to see that, it was something. The story of this game really was the Eagle defense. They held the Bulldogs to -1 yard passing, 95 yards rushing, 2 of 10 on third downs, and 0 for 6 on fourth. They racked up 5 sacks. R.J. Perkins was a beast in the middle, had 2. He had one of the most complete sacks I've ever seen. Just absolutely swallowed the quarterback. Moreover, they only let Baldwin get away once. That the one score Columbia Academy had came after a Monte Baldwin long run, and then Baldwin capped it off from about 3 yards out, I believe. Complete victory for Nashville Christian. And as I was trying to say before I went Mr. Roboto on you guys, is that if you don't think that Nashville Christian players saw this game as an opportunity to separate Jared Christian from Monte Baldwin,
Curtis.
they probably did, and might have something to do with just the fact that they would not let Baldwin get anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of talk a little bit about how good BA's defense has gotten compared to last year. Nashville Christian's on the same train. This is a team that let up a ton of points last season. They're not doing that this year. They've only given up more than 20 points once to BGA, and they're rolling right now, guys. And again, Cam, you mentioned every week. Once they get TJ Ward in the picture, it's wraps. DeKalb County, close one against Cumberland County. I was shocked when I saw this score with how close it was. Hey, the Tigers are back in the win column. They needed that, but 7-point win over Cumberland County team that's only has 2 wins on the year. That can't inspire too much confidence.
Yeah,
right?
Coach Trapp's going to be very frustrated with his guys, I would say, defensively in this matchup. Offensively, you know, they've been able to put up some points behind Jordan Parker, and they got a really good sophomore wide receiver in Ryan Lyons. But defensively, the last 2 weeks, you know, last week against Macon County, you know, Macon turned the ball over, I think, 3 times in the first half, and then exploded for 35 points in the second half. You know, and that just can't happen. So if I know Coach Trapp, he's going to be a very inspired, fired up football coach this coming up week.
DCA takes care of business against Clarksville Academy. Kind of business as usual for DCA. King Gardner had himself a nice game. I think 2 touchdowns, over 100 yards rushing again. Mitchell Carey does what he does. But Wildcats keep rolling, and they got Nashville Christian on the horizon.
Yep. Like you said, Mitch Carey, 4 touchdowns in the game, 2 on ground, 2 in the air. Yeah. Clarksville Academy just they're just young, and it's they're paying for it this year after the success they had last year.
All right, third set of highlights. Father Ryan and Ensworth. Ensworth, kind of a slow start to this game for the for the Tigers. However, Graham Smith gets them on the board first here with 39-yard field goal. God, love to see 39-yard field goals from high school kickers because they should be easy and they're not. TCU commitment Sam Haley here gets the pick off the tip. Whoop. Big pick here. Puts the Tigers
Chris
in great, puts the Tigers in great field position. However, Father Ryan's defense came to play here in the first half. Kay Nanku with the pick here. When I saw this highlight, I thought it was a pick six. He ends up getting pushed out though. Not too. I thought he had a lane personally. Father Ryan able to take advantage. Joseph Derrick to Sam Derrick here. Puts the Irish up 7-3, and that's the lead they'll take into the half. That's a great pass and catch there. That's the lead they'll take into the half, and everybody on Instagram saying, Ensworth fraudulent alert. Saw that quite a bit. Ensworth's not frauds. They come out here in the second half. Micah Smith bullies his way into the end zone, dribbled him off the dirt. Ensworth goes up 10-7. And then it's the J-Hop show from here on out, guys. Long touchdown reception here for the junior. You're not catching him. Simple as that. And then I believe he's going to get another one here in a minute. A lot of celebration in that video. J-Hop here again, I believe. Great ball. Great ball to him. Puts the Tigers up 24-7. That brick wall always scares me in the back, Scott. I feel like they're going to run into it every single time.
Yes, I agree.
Every single time. Ensworth gets the win, though. Justin Hopkins also had an interception in the win. The Tigers are rolling. 8-0 heading into the bye week. Realistically, they could close out the regular season unbeaten at this point. Father Ryan was really, in my opinion, the last big test on their regular season schedule.
Mm-hmm.
They are about what we thought they are. Their defense is insanely good. Offense, it's hit or miss. Some nights they're great, some nights they're bad. But if you get a full 4 quarters from that Ensworth team, they can beat anybody in the state.
Yeah, and you saw a great football player make a great play early in the second half to get his guys going. Talking about Ethan Utley, of course. Set them up in good field position. They score right after, and it was kind of like Father Ryan was like, whoa. And before they could get their footing back up under them, it was 24-7. This Ensworth team, that's what they're going to be. They're good enough defensively to stick around until the offense figures it out.
Yep.
Joseph Derrick had been lighting it up pretty well for Father Ryan this year. They managed to hold him to 71 yards and a score.
I believe he got hurt too, Scott.
Did he get hurt?
Yeah.
Did he get hurt? That's a shame because he's been having a tremendous year. Taylor Hasselbeck, another solid night. He seems to just be getting more and more comfortable in that offense.
Hold on a second. Not yet. We're getting there, though. Gordonsville bounce back win over Red Bowling Springs. Big night for the Tigers. Not bounce back. I guess they beat Forest last week. I'm projecting because I picked Forest. Gordonsville kind of rolling right now. We'll see how they keep it going. They got Clay County here in 3 weeks.
Week 11. Yep.
So that's for the region title. One would assume at this point. It's a really good Gordonsville team, guys. Really good team.
Yeah, they win up front. And in small classification, when you can win up front, you're going to win a lot of football games.
Yeah.
Harpeth takes care of Joe Burns. I think Harpeth's quarterback went off in this game too.
He did. Charlie Wilson threw for 5 scores. This game was cut short by 6 minutes due to an injury to a Joe Burns player, Quade Pettis, that resulted in him being taken to the hospital. We don't have any updates on that. If we get those, we will pass along on our social media. We just hope that the young man is well and is recover. Expect to make a full recovery. We just don't know the extent of the injury. A lot of times it's precautionary, and it could be in this case. But Harpeth just dominated this game. It was a 26-13 game at the half, and then the second half, for the length it was just all Indians.
Beach, Henry County. The Buccaneers go to Paris. I'm sure they're not too happy they go 23 points, but I think what they're happy with is that their offense just kind of keeps rolling at this point, guys. I mean, since the Riverdale game, they've scored 28 or more points in every game since then. Whatever ailments they had through the first 3 weeks on offense, those are gone now. Give the ball to Caden Powell, give the ball to Chelton Swafford, and good things happen.
They have figured it out.
Yeah.
We
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Scott. No, go ahead.
I was just saying, it was all about the dominance of the Buccaneers up front in this game. Defensively, they didn't let Aiden Spellings loose. That's Henry County's primary weapons are quarterback. They forced him to stay in the pocket. They had to rely on DeMarcus Patton, who had a decent night later on in the game, but Beach was never in danger in this game. Chelton Swafford just had a great day running. The holes he had by that Buccaneer offensive line were just massive. Caden Powell, 2 short runs that where he just absolutely bowled over anybody in his way. I think Beach stood on business this game. They went into him. They went and just dominated this game.
Went to Paris, and the offense was a French kiss.
So we're gonna kick Cam out now. No, do you know how many touchdowns Chelton ended up with last night, Scott?
I do not. I want to say he had 2.
2.
I think
He's
he had 2. I believe he had that Powell had 2, and I think a receiver had 1, and then so I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure that the stats are incoming.
Yeah.
I just don't have them yet.
He's quietly kind of putting together a year where you could see him as a Mr. Football semifinalist, maybe a finalist.
Yeah.
Believe he's closing in on 1,000 yards. He's just solid running back. I mean, I enjoy watching him a lot. Enjoyed it last year watching him against Henry County. The Bucks are good. They are good, and
They're still pretty young too. Powell's junior. Swafford is underclassman.
Yeah, we talk about Page a lot in 5A, but I think as football fans, guys, we want Page and Beach.
Yes, that is exactly what we want.
That's
Make
what
it happen.
We deserve it.
Right.
What we got next, Scott?
There he comes.
Ooh. This one kind of shocking. Not final result. We all picked or most of us picked Lipscomb Academy. High five, Cam. Ty Snell, the 8th grader, comes in and shines. I mean, you're an 8th grader on the big stage against NBA perennial powerhouse down here, and you do more than enough to lead your team to a win. The Mustangs needed this in the worst way, and they got it. We'll see what they do for the rest of the year because they still have Macaulay and BA on their schedule, but it's a great win over the Big Red.
Yeah, and one thing I noticed looking at his stats so far in the game, in the series that he's had at the varsity level as an 8th grader, I think he's 28 of 46. He hasn't thrown for a lot of yards. He's got 1 touchdown and no interceptions. No interceptions. That's the key part. I don't know if that's play calling protecting him or if that's just. I know in his numbers in middle school, he really protected the football, and that goes a long way, especially when you got a defense like Lipscomb Academy, Scott.
Mm.
Yeah.
Macon, Kyle Shoulders picks up win number 50 with the Tigers last night. They roll past Livingston Academy 45-6, and I mean, this was as expected, right?
Yeah.
And that pretty much locks them into the postseason too.
Yeah, they found their groove again. You know, they scored 42 first half points in this game before they called off the Dogs. Defensively, another gem. They held Livingston to 1 first down. 10 yards rushing and 3 yards passing. I mean, total of 13 yards. The only points for the Wildcats were on a scoop and score. I mean, this Macon defense played extremely well. Gabe Borders, 104 yards, 2 scores, had a 63-yard punt return for a touchdown. Just another dominating performance. Macon County, after stumbling for a couple of weeks, looks like they're getting everything back on track.
I want to say they're 6-2 in region play now, Scott. Or 6-2 overall, 2-2 in region play.
Yeah.
If they had played 9 games, something happened.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll fix it.
You're good. No worries. I just noticed that. I was like, dang, are we on week 9?
Yeah. I got it. And thanks for pointing that out to everybody.
Marshall County rolls again. 47-0 winners over Montgomery Central. They're solidly one of the top 2 teams in this region right now, and the Pearl game here in a couple weeks will decide it.
Yeah, is the game in Nashville or is it down there?
I believe it's at Pearl.
I think it's Pearl this year, but I'm not 100%.
Yeah, went to Marshall last year.
You want to talk about Mr. Football candidates, Tyler Thompson?
Yes.
He has been lighting it up in 4A. He had he just won a quiet 15 of 20 for 215 and 4 touchdowns. But Asia Jones, the receiver, had 3 touchdown catches and a punt return for another touchdown. So it was a big night for receivers last night.
Mm-hmm. I lied. They are at Marshall County week 11. Week 11 on Halloween night. So.
Oh, wow.
Smith County picks up win number 2 on the year, and that's a big win because it does that solidify them in the postseason now, Cam?
Yes.
So they're in.
Yeah, it was a big night for them. This game was really close late. Mm-hmm. But Jermaine Cason put the Owls in front. He put the Owls in front. And then they closed the door with his next touchdown. 15 carries, 102 yards, couple of touchdowns. They ran away late. Blue Devils had a 3-game shutout streak going. They ended that. And like you said, and they found their way into the postseason in a season where, this Owl team is really rebuilding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I said yes. Technically, it's not yes, but it's yes. Yeah. You would have to have a team like Jackson County have to beat. They've already lost to Westmoreland, so they would have to beat like East Robertson and Monterey. They wouldn't be able to lose again because chances are Smith County is only going to lose one more region game, if that. So.
Sycamore, big win for the War Eagles over Cheatham County. Hunter Hicks, I believe, had a pretty good night from what I saw. Mm-hmm. Cheatham County struggles. It's just been a down year for the Cubs. They'll figure it out, but Sycamore, good region win here, and they go to 3-5 on the season.
Yeah, talking about a team riding a roller coaster this year. Man, this Sycamore team, you never know what you're going to get.
If they'd have had a couple of those points in the previous games, it might be a different story. But the battle for the powder keg stays with Sycamore.
Is that really what it is? That's awesome.
Yeah.
A powder keg, huh?
You speak of East Robertson a couple games ago. They go to Trousdale County, the home of the Fighting Cam Reeds. Some would say the lowly Cam Reeds, and beat Trousdale 48-0. Cam, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is exactly what Coach Brooks and them wanted. This was a get right game for them. They kind of struggled early, kind of slow start, but was able to pick it up offensively. K. Brooks had 3 touchdowns. Big night for him. And this East Robertson defense fixed some things defensively against a really young, inexperienced Trousdale County offense. I think Trousdale County had 32 rush attempts for 40 yards, so a much better showing from East Robertson's rush defense. But as a Trousdale County alum, you just gotta take them. One day we'll be giving them.
Casey Young, 15-18, 227, 3 touchdowns. As Cam said, K. Brooks, he had 10 carries for 127 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 receptions for 36 yards on the score. So.
I thought this was a basketball score at first, guys. Webb School beats Davidson Academy 67-50 in a game where my phone kept lighting up because I was getting notifications about scores, and I was like, what is happening? Scott, how many yards were in this one?
Almost 1,200, 1,190 yards of total offense and 57 first downs.
Can Charles County borrow some of those?
I
They could
mean,
have spread them out by. They could have given a couple to everybody.
Josh
Based
Bolden had
on
a pretty
Barksdale.
big, Josh
Oh,
Bolden
go
had a
ahead.
pretty good game for the Bears. What were his numbers?
He had 229 yards receiving, 4 touchdowns, and a 90-yard kickoff return. Just amazing numbers for a receiver. Keyshawn Barksdale, 383 yards passing, 6 touchdowns. Caden Stroud added 183 yards on the ground, and it wasn't enough. As Webb, this game went back and forth, but it was just a mistake here, a mistake there. But if you wanted defense, this was not the game for you.
This is like two really bad players on NCAA 25 or college football 25 playing on freshman mode, and they don't know how to play defense. Davidson Academy's defense has kind of been an issue all year. They give up a ton of points. They got some pieces on offense. Barksdale's coming along as a quarterback. Josh Bolden's having a good year. Kane Stroud's obviously doing what Kane Stroud does, but they got to figure it out on defense because it's just not going well right now. So when you score 50 and you lose, that's rough. West Creek gets another win. They beat Northeast in a sneaky good game last night, 34-27. The Coyotes go to 4-4 on the year and solidly 3-2 in that region.
They picked up Northeast 3 times, including 2 pick sixes. DJ McCoy scored 2 on the ground for West Creek.
Innovation Academy just taking their lumps. Thank you, Jay. Thank you. Westbrook Christian out of Alabama comes to Innovation Academy, rolls 48-7. Innovation's just taking their lumps.
Yeah, it's it's part of the growing process. Part of it's TSSAA and initiation. This is for better or worse hazing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Cam. Were you going somewhere with that?
I was going to say the Sentinels should have a better showing next year when they're in 1A, which is where they should be. And unfortunately, coming to 11-man football late in this classification cycle, they had to fill their schedule with literally anybody. You've seen them play Brentwood Academy. You've seen them play South Pittsburgh. You've seen them play, I think it was Bradley Central. I mean, it's not been a good schedule at all, but, you kind of do what you have to do with what you're dealt. Next year, they will be 1A. I expect the Sentinels to have a different result next year.
You see the comment?
Oh, look who it is. Look at this guy.
Yeah.
Chris, I'd like you to know that Instagram Live didn't work. It was being dumb. It made me angry, and you're not missed. Anyway, on to the next game. Grace Christian, 42-28 winners over Whites Creek. Tucker Wolf is the story in this one. 6 receptions for 202 yards and 3 touchdowns. Knox Lambert also threw for 267 yards and 3 touchdowns overall. As the Lions get a win here, and the Cobras kind of reeling at the moment.
Yeah, it seems like that they just that the Cobras just cannot seem to they've had some down weeks. They really I don't know if they have a bye coming up or not, but this would be the time for one.
This freaking guy. Look at him. Look at this guy. God, I hate him. God, I hate him so much.
Even when he's not here, he has to be here.
Chris, just so you know, Joe's already called you a cheater again.
It may have been an error on my part. I take no responsibility. Yeah, Whites Creek has not played well really since that loss to White House a couple weeks ago. They've kind of struggled. Game that we'll see on Monday, actually, Liberty Creek and Stratford. I will attempt to be there, barring my work schedule. This game's at 6 o'clock. Weird one. These two teams have already played, and Liberty Creek's rolled in that one. So we'll see if there's anything different in round 2. So
Yep.
Is that it for the scores this week, guys?
That is all for the scores.
Wow, we did it without Chris. We only had one major hiccup with Instagram, which sucks. But it is what it is. Light week this week.
Let's be honest. If I hadn't gotten if you hadn't gotten together with me and got over those bad instructions we got earlier,
telling us one thing and it's the other. See, you guys are seeing it. You're seeing my vision. He's the problem here. He's the problem. Scott, you're so far behind. You just need to join my alliance at this point. Good week this week, guys. Lighter week, 25 games. We'll have more next week. All the private schools are off. Wilco, Wilson County, back at it. Some pretty good games. Cam, you'll be at Blackman, Riverdale. Oh, Rico was off this week too. You'll be at Riverdale, Blackman. I'll be at Smyrna Stewart's Creek, and what's in the de facto region championship game there. And yeah, Scott, you'll be doing all the video watching.
I'll be monitoring from 615 Central.
Yep. So send us your stats. We need stats. Get us your stats.
Please.
That's all I gotta say.
I have no life up here other than that.
Yeah, I want to give one shout out, not in our coverage area, but shout out to Unicoi County and Hampton.
Mm-hmm.
2 football programs that's been hit really, really hard over the last 2 weeks with a natural disaster in Hurricane Helene. Both of them got wins last night, big wins. So want to shout out both of those football programs.
Oh, that's great. Wins in an area that really needed a win. That's great.
Good to hear. So, all right, guys, I think that's it. Little lighter show today. I'll let you guys off the hook so we can go watch some college football. No one likes Chris. I know I'm usually taking this out on Cam, but I mean, right now, you're 2 back, he's 1 back.
I'm actually. We'll talk after, but I'm actually 1 back too.
Are you?
Yes.
Interesting. So Chris messed up.
Who's running the who's running the scoreboard now? Who's the captain now?
Interesting. Yeah, I think we vote Chris off the island. Just kidding. We'd sink if it weren't for him.
That's fair.
For Scott, for Cam, for me, Joe, and my cat's tail on the screen. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and we will see you Wednesday night for Week 9, guys. Week 9. Yep. I hate it. We're almost through the regular season. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and make sure you check out all of our socials for everything from Week 8.
Go Vols, beat Florida.
Go Irish.